Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're well. Welcome back for Quarter 2, Season 60 highlights in the Book of the Vishanti. As you know by now, the war season is effectively in shambles given the announcements that have been made by Kabam, but I suppose we'll yap about that on a stream one day. We don't need to get into that now. We've got videos to look at because we're still trying to win. We're still trying to get solos. We're still trying to fight good fights. And speaking of good fights, this fight is in here for your sake. This is Torch against Nico, second fight at the beginning of Path 7. And this video is in here so that way you can fight this better than I did. So in this fight, my initial plan was to go in and bait special ones. And she gets a little stingy and she starts stacking that aggression fury. And it just gets chunky. Now I dex it, but you know, she's got me below my temperature. That block damage is egregious from the tranquilize. So I decided to slow it down, kind of bait stuff out of her. And here I decide that I'm just going to push. So initially at the beginning of this, we discussed me just pushing her red. I have an invul on, and that's what I'd suggest. I'd suggest you hit her, you clam up, you bait heavies. Once you get the buff immunity off you, and you nuke her down that way. It'll make the fight much safer. I had a Tigra versus Maestro before this one, and you've seen that plenty of times on the channel, so we're not messing with that. But now we've got this Attuma at the end of Path 1. This is the buffet node, the regen stuff, so if I dex too much and he gets too many regens, he's eventually going to go unblockable. So the plan is to get in and out of this as quick as possible without triggering buffet, which actually should technically buff it, but that's a different conversation for a different time. So I get to parry freely, you know, Gene doing Gene things, and basically I'm just going to plan to bait special ones, try not to dex, get my neuros converted. You can see he's basically been completely cooperative. We're at 20 neuros before we're done with our first special one. So we're in a good spot. He thankfully throws that for me, which means this is just going to be heavy into special. Dunzo. Alright, now moving on to our Tigra fight of the day. She's on the team. You've seen some of the other ones before, so I don't do it, but this Galan on 39 is only here because this is a Tigra snack. This is just a warning to everyone, never to place a Galan on node 39 if you're not banning Tigra. Because, I mean, come on. Come on. What are you doing? Stand your ground tries to hold us up, but it's not a big deal. Trying to bait the special, he won't throw it, so I'll go ahead and throw the special too to try to get his AI to be more cooperative. It's definitely something you can do, is try to get the AI to engage with you. You don't always have to sit out and wait it out. You just kind of try to engage it a little bit. And in this case, we throw that, he throws his, we throw ours, and that is a toasty rank 4 Galan. All right, moving on, we've got the classic Lumatrix fight, this time over on 48. This one has Safeguard, Bane, Stunning Reflection, tough node set. You know, typically with Luma, again, they try to make it so we have to play around his stun. And no difference here. So typical Gene fight, want to start off with lights. We want to get neuros up, we want to bait special ones. He's non-cooperative, he's throwing heavies, but we're all right. Just gonna be calm. Just want to be calm. I have been working on my Luma sidestep. I don't know that I use it in this fight, but I'm trying to get better at that specific thing. There we are, we're baiting special ones. I backed off so I could get a good Bane transfer, because so much of this fight is that exact thing. And yeah, we're just getting into the cycle. I wasn't sure if my SP2 was going to bypass the safeguard and damage cap stuff, so I didn't mess with it. I wait his invisibility out there so I can bait the heavy, and then he won't get the evade charge. And you can see we're kind of cruising. Trying to make life easy. After the previous mistake, I always make sure my heavy's connecting. And yeah, we definitely bypassed the cap there. Trying to be slow, manage the Bane transfer. I'm a little slow on that one, but not a big deal because I know I'm just going to dex that last hit and return it. Bane is also dealt based on how much health the opponent has, so with him being low health, it's not a big deal. Try to dex that, but he's kicking out, and that's basically a full yellow bar finish. And you've seen the Yelena a million times, so that was that. But we got a nice dub versus the Night Guardian, CZSK. Big shout out to our MVPs, Grass, Cosmic, and Egg, just crushing it. It was a nice bounce back after losing to Noon first chunk of the season, and now our reward is LVT. Moving into the 5th war of the season, and we've got this Red Skull at the beginning of Path 3. Shuri works here currently because she is non-contact, so therefore there is nothing to push the bleeds back onto me. I have heard that if you block the second hit of his special 1, bleeds will transfer. I have also heard that this fight is basically bugged. So don't count on this working forever, but for right now, you can still do this. My plan in this fight is just to be very slow, very calculated. I want to throw my special 1 when he's at 10 plus normal shocks, because I am trying to maximize my shock charges so I can get my passives up. And so that's kind of my approach in this fight and thought process as I'm going. Base special 1s, be super safe, build your shocks up, convert them at some point, use them for the refresh, and we just kind of tick them down. Because Red Skull reduces a parry ability accuracy, but Shuri cannot have her ability accuracy reduced, she can just freely parry our man Red Skull here. And you can also see, you know, her crits are being glanced, which I think is curious, because technically I think that's ability accuracy reduction, but I'm not sure what the differentiation is, but it's not a big deal. Again, we're just being super safe, refreshing things, getting our parries in for our charges, not being dumb. I know that if I get hit, I die. So I'm just trying to be super slow and safe and take them down, and you can see we're about there. Newsflash, breaking news. I will not be making that mistake in this fight, and he just ticks out. So not too bad, 1.5-ish. And moving on to one of the classics of the channel, Tigra vs. Kindred. We've done it on all sorts of nodes over the last couple of seasons. I mean, 8 or 10, 25, 49. Done it over on Path 4. And now we've got the classic 12 with the auto block. So showing, of course, my boost swaps, so you guys can see again the thought process that goes into each fight. Each fight is kind of crafted in terms of an attack plan, a boost plan, and what my approach is going to be. And this fight's in here because it's a little bit of a unique one, and then I can't just hit him a bunch. So the plan here is to basically parry, do lights, parry, do mediums, parry, do heavies, just get him pushed back, and then get into a typical Tigra cycle. I decided to go ahead and take advantage of him throwing that heavy, get some ruptures up. We go light, we go medium, we go heavy, and then we're here, and I decided to go ahead and just throw my special. I was thinking about baiting that special 1, but I also don't want to get pushed to special 3, so now we're just trying to get him to throw. Not super worried about outbreak, just because, you know, it's just degen damage, but it's not going to kill you. So go ahead and toss it off. He's in the death cycle now. He triggers the root, and dunzo. By the time we get done with this war season or so, you're going to see all the methods and mechanisms for taking care of Kindreds with Tigra. And now you see that Luma on the backside. I cut that one out because you've seen enough Luma and you've seen me take that before. But you've never seen me Tigra Sauron. In fact, I had never done it in war. I'd never done it, period. And so this was my first run after some practice. And you're going to see how it goes. I do know this is a doable fight. Going into it, I was a little unsure. But, you know, some duels. Right now, we're just trying to keep our neutralize up. Trying not to get hit by unblockable hits. Trying to bait heavies. Kind of hope he throws that special 1, but he doesn't. But I get the little intercept. He throws a heavy immediately, which the AI will do if you clam up, and he's not going to survive the special 2. So, it's Tigra doing Tigra things. 24 seconds. But, unfortunately, LVT did us in. GG's to them. Big shout out to our MVPs, Bean, Poke, and Cosmic. It was a close one. I think it was 8-6 at the end, so we just died a couple more times, but you know, LVT's cooking. They're doing well, and we just got to keep picking ourselves up and moving on, which we will do right now as we move on to the Celestial Avengers Cav. Big shout out to those fellas. You saw Forgotten there. We got Scorpy. We've got Jay Will. We've got Stonehenge. A lot of love for those guys, especially me and Jay. You guys know we do a lot of stuff together, so We've got this Kindred on 4. You've seen this fight before, but this one's here because I'm doing it differently. Instead of messing with the petrifies, etc., we're actually going to treat this more like we would an Onslaught or something, and we're just going to heavy counter heavy. We're not going to care about degens at all, and we're just going to nuke him before he throws specials. That's the plan in this fight. So we go ahead, he triggers his first mode. I decide to go ahead and throw the special 2 off, so that way I don't, again, push myself to 3 bars of power. Go ahead and clam up. He doesn't throw the special, and I see where we're at. Decide to just throw the back-to-back SP1s instead of pushing to SP2, and take a little degen damage, but that means you don't have to shut off willpower. I did for that fight, but you don't have to mess with it. Now that Killmonger I took with Jean, but it was a pretty basic Jean fight, you know, special 1, special 2, nuke him down. This Knull here on 25, that was a little more unique. We were talking about me Tigering this fight, ultimately decided that Jean would be safer. And I'm glad we did. Glad we did. Because you're going to see how this goes. You know, Jean can parry freely because of her passive stun. You know, if she didn't have that, then this would be a lot more difficult. But our goal here is just a special 1, special 2. Build up our neuros with the lights on the special 1, for the special 1. 8 special 2s, and go into the death cycle here. He gets a little stingy, but thankfully he's not too long-winded. So I'm just watching my power. I don't want him to throw special 1. That's the one thing that can make this fight super annoying. But we're doing okay. You can see we have our little power reduction, which by the way currently is broken. Her heads up display for specials and stuff is busted, so this is why we do war fights before we update. And wait that out. We've got the invul on. That came from the Killmonger fight, but I wanted it for the 2 fights, so it worked out perfectly. And instead of waiting to go to the special 2, I just go ahead and throw the special 1, convert stuff to passives, and just take them down. So, wait 1 more special 2. And away he goes. Easy squeezy. Took that Black Panther, of course, with Jean. Very basic Jean fight. Special 2 spam. There, no special 1, special 2, just special 2 spam. And now we've got this Yelena here on 47. You can see it's got the missing in action, so it's going to hit with Falter. It's going to have fight or flight. So for me, I just said, hey, play this like the current BG's meta, right? I want to bait specials to keep my distance while the Unstoppable's coming. That way I can go unstoppable, don't have to worry about her. If I do get a Falter, it's not a big deal because I've got Neuro Shocks, so this becomes a super straightforward Jean versus Yelena, and that's great. A lot better than the boss node. Let me see what we got there. We're just working on getting it all squared away. Use our fight or flight. Get a good conversion. We're in a good spot. Wouldn't throw specials though. It's so aggravating. Just like trying to wait my timer out. But it's all right. All right. We have some time to get this combo in. Yeah, pretty sure I decided to stop letting her dictate what was going on. Decided to go ahead and do my cycle. Comes close. It's my only Jean fight. Debated on using her for the next one, but I won't. I go ahead and block that with the Unstoppable, the distance, thankfully. And that means that this fight could have been more frisky, but is not going to be bad because we're just going to end it now. Easy dub. Now, going into this fight, I'm the last one taking fights. And we're up by 5 right now, which means if I solo this fight, we've won the war. And that was goal number 1, right? Goal number 1 is always do what needs to be done to win. And that's usually optimizing solos, but sometimes that means just being more locked than locked. You know what I'm saying? So we've got this Onslaught on 49. You've seen me Tigra this before. Again, I leave the boost changes in just so you can see it. I can cut all this stuff out, but you need to be thinking about this as you apply stuff to your war fights, right? What boosts am I going to swap? What's my method? What's my rotation? What am I going to do if things go wrong? And here we know the plan. Heavy counter heavy. Throw special 2s. We have the range to get him down. And so we just need him to be remotely cooperative and we'll be okay. Debated on going for the intercept there, but I said, you know what? We're just heavy baiting. That didn't count as a punish somehow because this game's mega buggy trash, so I got no ruptures. But it actually turns out to be okay because that means I can get it 3 in for sure. and use my special to remove the crushed without it being crazy. So get that going, and now we're in the special 2 cycle. We're getting some power back, and this is gonna kill. And even if it didn't, we could clam up, bait one more heavy, and throw one more special 2 and be just fine. And so, whew, deep breath. Now I get to the fight I'm most worried about. You see me checking the score. We've won the war. And I can take a deep breath because this is the fight I was most worried about. This Solvarch here on the boss node. I've got this Galan, my rank 3 Galan, 1.4 and some change million health, and we're gonna speed this way up because this fight took forever. It's very straightforward. I'm just baiting special 1s and doing my harvests. At some point in time, he's gonna parry me trying to heavy counter his heavy, and so I'm gonna take some damage, but ultimately, I mean, we're just chipping away. It's literally just chip it away fight. Right there, I got parried. I take some damage. He pushed me to 2 bars. I just go stupid. All right, I'll just go to special 3, build up some more harvest, loop back around. The health bar is pretty even, so I'm just trying to get ahead of it. We get this harvest off just before expiration, so that was nice. It's a pretty good sized one. But you know, he's clipping me here and there, chipping me down, taking some damage. So I think this fight's pretty repeatable. I think it's pretty doable. It's just annoying because it's 1.4 million health, you know what I mean? And so again, I'm just trying to keep up in the health battle, trying to work my rotations in. I'm gonna go back and study, see if some more special 1s woven in would speed this up at all. But you can see we're here near the end. I've got one more harvest I'm trying to kick off. I don't know that he threw a special 2. I think he was just special 1 happy. But here I decide I'm just gonna go for it. He's under 10%. We're gonna throw this off, hope it kills. And I had a pretty good feeling it would, and it indeed does. So we got the solo, 4-minute solo, and we get the dub. First time ever versus Cav. Big GG's to those guys, nothing but love. Shout out to our MVPs, Cosmic, Anthem, and Grass. Crushed it out. Great first half of the season. We're 4-2. Losses to Noon and LVT, and you see yours truly here. First chunk of the season, 37-1. Basically on track for how last season was. Unfortunate death that you guys saw in Live War, but we're in a good spot. I think we're sitting about 6th in the world right now, so we just need to close it out, try to get that top 10 season, and I'll see you soon. Until next time, peace.